Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Jill and today I'm going to be talking about all of my most anticipated fall 2017 releases. So let's get started. Ah yes, the fall time. The time where every single book it seems like in existence comes out, leaving me with absolutely no money. I originally wasn't planning on doing a fall releases video just because there are legit so many books that are coming out that I'm highly anticipating, but I saw some other people sort of doing this and I thought, hey, why not? Let me talk about a few of them. So like I said, I have a ton of most anticipated releases for the fall time, but I just last night I went on and I just made a list of the first ones that came into my head, and so these are the ones that I'm going to talk about and they are the most notable ones. And since I'm filming this after September 5th, and September 5th was a huge day, like Tower of Dawn came out and History Is All You Left Me came out and a whole bunch of other books came out. I'm not going to be mentioning those because they've already come out, okay? So like I said, I have a ton of books to talk about today and I'm just going to get right on into it. These are in no particular order. They're not even in order of release date because I didn't feel like ordering them in release date, so we're just going to talk to them as they come. So the first book that I'm anticipating for the fall time is Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. This comes out on September 26th. This book is essentially a storybook that Leigh Bardugo has written, full of a bunch of children's stories and things from the Grisha world, which is where the Shadow and Bone trilogy takes place, and also the Six of Crows duology. So it's basically a bunch of stories that the characters from those books would have heard growing up, and I am so excited. It looks so beautiful. Like, if you've seen the previews of them, there's like so many colorful illustrations and it looks so freaking cool, and plus it's Leigh Bardugo. She's one of my favorite authors and I don't even care what she writes. I will always buy whatever she writes. Next up, I am anticipating Invictus by Ryan Graudin. Now Ryan Graudin wrote Wolf by Wolf, which is a book by her set in World War II, and I loved that book. I didn't end up continuing on with the series just because I sort of forgot all of the specific details and I just didn't really have any motivation to pick up the second book, but now she has a new book coming out and it sounds so freaking cool. So this book follows a boy and his name is Faraway, okay, and it says that he was born outside of time. He is the product of a time-traveling person from 2354 and a gladiator who lived in 95 AD. And it says exploring history himself is all he's ever wanted, and after failing his time-traveling exam, Far takes a position commanding a ship with a crew of his friends as part of a black market operation to steal valuables from the past. But during a heist on the sinking Titanic, Far meets a mysterious girl who always seems to be one step ahead of him. Armed with knowledge that will bring Far's very existence into question, she will lead Far and his team on a race through time to discover a frightening truth. History is not as steady as it seems. Okay, can I just say that that sounds epic, like a time-traveling heist? Sign me up. Plus it's by Ryan Graudin. I am so excited, guys. Next up is a book that I've sort of heard a lot of buzz about lately, and that is An Enchantment of Raven by Margaret Rogerson. All I know, like I said, that I know Sasha has been sort of talking about this book, and all I know about it really is that it deals with, I think, a painter who paints fae in this world, and then I guess one of them gets angry at her. I don't know, but I love fae and I trust the people who have been hearing buzz about it, so I'm really excited for it. Next up, I'm highly anticipating Without Merit by Colleen Hoover, and this comes out on August 3rd. If you guys have been following my channel, I'm slowly reading Colleen Hoover's books and I really love her as an author. She is not a perfect author. There are lots of problems with her books, but overall I have so much fun reading her books and I'm addicted to them. So I'm for sure very, very highly anticipating her new book. I know that this follows a girl in her senior year of high school. That's literally all I know. The best thing with Colleen Hoover books is to go into them not knowing anything, and so that's what I'm doing for this one. The cover is amazing. Like, I love that cover so much, and yeah, so highly anticipating because I love Colleen Hoover. Next up is actually a book that I already read because I was lucky enough to get an arc of it, but I really wanted to talk about it because because oh my god guys, it was fantastic. And that was Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow. I feel like I mispronounce that every single time, I swear. So essentially, this is an Asian inspired twist on the Evil Queen story from Snow White. Now it is not Snow White, it is sort of like a prequel to Snow White following the Evil Queen from Snow White. And like you don't get that. You don't get that from like the first half, but then like you get to this one part and it gets so freaking dark, and I like let out an actual screech because it was so good, guys. It was so dark, it was so mysterious, the characters were amazing, the entire concept of this book was so cool. I loved it. Like, it was so good and it was so unique and it was so fresh. And just please, this book comes out I think October 10th. Please pick it up if you are at all interested, because it's so freaking cool and it's a breath of fresh air, and I love this book, guys. I love it so much. Next up, I am very highly anticipating The Knowing by Sharon Cameron. This is the sequel to The Forgetting. I read The Forgetting back when it sort of came out, and I was so surprised by how much I liked it. It's basically a sort of dystopian book, and basically the first book follows this city where every 7 years there is this thing called like the Forgetting Day, and everyone across the entire city forgets everything. And so unless they write it down in this book, they will forget it. So people can completely rework their identities, they can become different people, they can forget bad things that they did, and overall I really liked it. It is a dystopian, which is not my favorite genre by any means, but I still really enjoyed it, and so this is a sequel to it and I'm highly anticipating it because I want to know what happens. So hopefully I can remember what happened in the first book so that I can jump right into this one when it comes out. Next up is a book that I actually didn't even know was coming out this year until I looked it up yesterday on Goodreads, and I was so excited, and that was The Empress by S.J. Kincaid. Now this is the sequel to The Diabolic, which I read last year and adored. Again, I didn't think that I was going to like it, but it was so good. It is a sci-fi novel set in the future where there are things called diabolics, or just these sort of like humanoid kind of things that are made to protect a certain person. And so it follows this one diabolic named Nemesis, and she is sworn to protect this princess, and in order to protect this princess, she has to like take her place at this big conference, and it's just so good. It's so good. I loved it. And normally like sci-fi isn't my biggest genre either. I don't normally read a lot of sci-fi, but this book was so freaking good, and I had no idea the sequel was coming out this year, because I know that The Diabolic was pitched as a standalone, but I think it got extended because it did really well. So yeah, I am super excited for the sequel. Next up is the Magnus Chase and the Ships of the Dead, I think, and this comes out October 3rd. Again, another book that I didn't know was coming out in October. This is the third and final book in the Magnus Chase series. I just recently read the first Magnus Chase book and I liked it. I wasn't absolutely in love with it, but I really did like it way more than I thought I would. I have yet to read the second book, but I'm still highly anticipating the third book because the cover is just so beautiful, and I'm so ready for it, and hopefully when the third book comes out I can sort of read the second and third book right back to back. Another book that I'm really highly anticipating is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This comes out on November 7th. I have no idea what this book is about except the fact that it's by Marissa Meyer, and she's one of my favorite authors of all time, and I really don't care what it's about. But yeah, it looks like really cool. It looks sort of futuristic, and so I'm excited to see what it's about, but I've sort of been staying away of summaries for it because I want to go in sort of blind. Next up, I'm really anticipating This Mortal Coil by Emily Suvada. One of the leaders at my book club actually adored this book. Like, she gave it 5 stars, she loved it, and she kept trying to pitch it to me, and the cover was so intriguing, and I was like, you know what, that looks pretty darn cool. So it follows a hacker, and it's set in this world where people are implanted with technology to recode their DNA, allowing them to change their bodies in any way they want. And Kat happens to be a gene hacking genius. Oh, and I guess there is a terrible plague, and I guess the main character Kat has to try to come up with a cure for that or something like that. So I don't know a ton about it, but it just from what I read just now, it sounds really fantastic, and so I'm super excited to get into it. And now I'm going to rapid fire a bunch of arcs that I've actually already received from my local bookstore that were extremely high on my most anticipated list, but since I already have them, I'm not anticipating them as much because I already have them. But yeah, rapid fire time. I have 27 Hours by Tristina Wright, Warcross by Marie Lu. This book was fantastic. There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins, Jane Unlimited by Kristen Kashur, Witchwood by Tahira Mafi, and finally Dear Martin by Nick Stone. I talked about those books in my recent haul video, so if you want to know what they're about, you can go check those out. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for my most anticipated fall releases of 2017 video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe I alerted you to some releases that you weren't sure when they came out. Whatever the case may be, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new here, and let me know down below your most anticipated release for this fall. Thanks again so much for watching. I have all my social media linked down below, and I will see you guys later in another video.